Hey there, my name is Jessub Flower. I am a screenwriter, educator, and all around learning, training, and development nut. And welcome to the My Favorite Teacher podcast.
Oh, my favorite teacher makes the rocking world go round.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us here on the My Favorite Teacher podcast. We're having a little bit of technical trouble today, so we're actually doing a Zoom version of this, but that's not going to lower the quality of our guest because my guest today is somebody that I'm very excited about. Of course, you've heard me say that I'm excited before, but I am especially today because my guest today is a writer, producer, and actor, best known for his work in, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, Nahual, The Good Ones, Sacrificios, and Roasted Again Sam. And from my recent understanding, he's also one of the main voices of Pistachios, both on the radio and on television. Please welcome my guest today, Gary Gunter. Gary, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. That was the best introduction I ever got in my
Oh,
entire
come
life.
on. Now, full disclosure, okay. First, I'm going to start off with our technical difficulties. We have tried this a couple times. We're a couple of old men here trying to do technology, which is crazy. I usually record on Riverside, which I got my fancy shirt, and now Riverside is having trouble today. So shout out to Riverside. Now we're using Zoom for this episode. So hopefully you get your stuff fixed, Riverside, so that I can wear my t-shirt with pride and we can keep having a more higher quality podcast from here on out. But thanks for your patience, Gary.
Sure. So also full disclosure, we went to school together a
We
long time
absolutely
ago.
did. We went to Lewis and Clark College in Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon. How many years ago?
A lot.
So many years ago.
It was before the century turned over, so it was a while back.
And we were both going for acting. We were both in school for theater. You graduated from there.
Yeah, I did.
I left and moved back down south and everything like that and went to a different school, but you continued. And my memory is really bad. We were in a couple of shows together.
We were in a couple of shows together. We were in a couple of classes together.
We were in a lot of classes together. When
yeah,
you
we
were
were in
in
a lot of
theater
classes
at
together.
Lewis and Clark, you were in basically every class together.
All the classes.
Yeah. Yeah, we became flowers in one class session, and then we put balloons on our ears in another session.
Remember the balloons on the ear?
Don't you remember Edgar Wright? Edgar Wright, one of our
Yeah.
professors that was there, put balloons on your ears.
Edgar Reynolds.
Edgar Reynolds. Edgar Wright is the director.
Please, grants pass. Thank
But we had a blast. But I was trying to remember the shows that we were in. What shows were we in together?
We were in All's Well That Ends Well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we weren't in a lot of shows together.
No.
Because we were on opposite, like.
Well, we were kind of the same person.
Yeah. Back in the day, we looked a lot alike.
We looked a lot alike. Yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of acted the same. We did
Everybody thought we were brothers. Yeah.
We thought we were brothers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my gosh. So I remember, what was it? Not As You Like It. All's Well That Ends Well.
All's Well That Ends Well.
We were those soldiers
Yep.
that like pretended to be Florentines or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
So we made up a language.
We made up the language and we did the whole thing where we were like pretending to be the enemy soldiers for, oh my gosh, I can't remember.
We took our superior captive and we knew that he was a coward, so we pretended to be the enemy. We pretended to be the enemy and said what we were going to do to him.
Yeah, it was like lots of Bosco Ricamurco.
Chicamurco. Yeah.
That was a blast. That was Chris McKenzie, wasn't it? Do you remember
Chris McKenzie? C-Mac, yeah.
C-Mac. Oh
yeah, I don't know what he's doing these days. I think he's still acting. He moved to Los Angeles as well, and I saw him in a couple of commercials. He was in a Big and Tall Guy commercial. Cool. And I'm sure he's done other stuff.
To the people that are watching and listening and everything like that, we're just not going to do all these inside jokes and everything like that. I want to make sure that we talk about you specifically.
Yes.
The things that I was talking about when I introduced you. So Nahual, The Good Ones, Sacrificios, Roasted Again Sam. Can you run through? Those were a series of shorts that you did, correct?
These are a series of shorts, yeah. The Good Ones is I just had a small appearance in that, but that's a love story about two couples that are cheating on each other, and they sort of find love with each other when they realize they're not happy cheating on the outside.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Roasted Again Sam was something I produced and wrote and acted in, and it's that's available online. It's on YouTube called Roasted Again Sam. It's
Yeah.
partially in color, partially in black and white. Basically, this woman walks into a coffee shop and some it's the present day, and suddenly she's in the 1940s.
It's like it changes to a noir feel.
It changes into noir film,
Yeah.
and she's trying to order a modern cup of coffee. If you try to order a modern cup of coffee back in the 1940s, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And so she tries to order, a half cup of whatever it is,
Decaf,
half decaf
soy, this and that.
lattes. Yeah, and he on the other hand is hardboard noir lingo, and she can't understand a thing that he's saying.
That's
So
great.
really, it's just a comedy of language.
Oh, that's awesome. And you
And
wrote
then
that too. That's great.
that evolved out of the Groundlings.
Oh, it did.
That was initially a sketch in the Groundlings, and then it was taken to a live show that was outside of the Groundlings, completely separate,
Okay.
and it evolved into a short film.
So let me back up from there. So after Lewis and Clark College, after we graced the boards at Fur Acres Theater, you graduated and you went right down to LA after that?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I did a year of professional theater in Portland, and then I moved to Los
Oh, you did?
Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you do in Portland?
I was at Artist Repertory Theater, and I had my first professional role was a lead in The Destiny of Me, which is about it's a drama about a guy written by Larry Kramer about a guy who has AIDS and he's dying on his deathbed, and then he's sort of going through his life, and I'm his younger self, and he interacts with me
It's
as
almost
his
like
younger self.
Angels
So
in
like the
America
ghost of
kind of
Christmas
thing.
past, yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. And you did that show, or were you in
I
other
did
shows
I
as
did
well also?
a couple of Shakespeare shows. I did Othello. I did
Really?
at Tiger's Heart, and I played Romeo in Romeo and Juliet.
Really?
Yeah,
How did that go?
it went well. It was children's theater. You know, they shortened it, but it went really well. Our fight choreographer was the same guy that did the fights for The Princess Bride. Yeah, one of the
Awesome.
guys. His name was Jeffrey Alm. So I spent as much time for a 1.5 minute fight sequence as I did rehearsing the rest of the play.
Oh my gosh, that
So
is
that
awesome.
was really, really fun. Got to work with foils and swords, and it was great.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
see, I think I'm sure we talked about this, but when I was a teenager, before I went to college, I was Romeo as well in a production
Yes,
of Romeo and Juliet.
that's right.
So
It's a tough role.
it is a tough role. I mean, did you guys do Shakespearean dress and all that kind of stuff, or did you
Oh yeah,
modernize it?
the whole we
Yeah.
did not modernize it. We did the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I
Yeah.
wonder if you could remember any of the lines. Do you remember when Tybalt comes in and he goes, Romeo, the love that I can afford thee has no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't remember any of it.
I always remember right before that fight, like the best line that Romeo has is when Tybalt's mad at him and he says something and he picks up the sword and he says, "This shall determine that." And then they fight. And that's a great fight.
I had a horrible mistake in the scene with the friar where Romeo completely loses it with the friar when he realizes what's happening, and the
Yeah.
friar tries to slap him
Yeah.
back into sanity. And I'm supposed to grab a knife and like I'm going to stab myself with it.
Right.
And I go to grab it, and it's not there. And I think it's my fault. I was probably supposed to place it, but the dagger wasn't there. So I grab it. Nothing's there. So I just take my fist. I start beating myself.
Unfortunately, we are no strangers to mistakes on stage or backstage. I don't
Yeah.
know if we want to breach the Chekhov story at all.
God. Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have to. I
No,
can edit all
please.
this out and we can stop right
It's
after the
great.
friar.
Go ahead.
I'll set it up this way. So Gary and I were tasked as we were theater majors, we could not, if we didn't get a part in the play, we had to do something backstage. There was a production of Chekhov's The Seagull.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, I don't remember the characters' names or anything. I'm a terrible drama student. But the lead has to, at some point, go out off stage and then do something and make a decision, come back in, have some final conversation, and then he actually takes a gun, he leaves out and he shoots himself off stage.
Off stage.
Yeah. So Gary was responsible for the gun. Now, in fairness to Gary, the prop gun that they gave us to use was the biggest piece of crap stage prop that has ever been made in the history of time. It was this ancient, like flintlock pistol.
It was a 6 shooter from it must have been pre-Wyatt Earp. It was that
it was so old. I mean, it
yeah.
always had issues and problems. So
yeah.
everybody's going to kind of see where this is going. But and then I was your backup. So you were the gun.
Yep.
If it didn't fire, then I was the backup with 2 blocks of wood. Crack. That would be the gunshot.
And a big book in case that didn't work for some reason. You had a book, which
I don't know how 2 blocks of wood.
You had 2 blocks of wood, and then you also had a big book that you could just slam
on the ground. So we're set, right? So we're in a situation where, and to this day, I will defend you because you literally did nothing wrong. I'm telling you, because when he goes off stage the first time to like have his moment or whatever, and there's a monologue happening on stage, Gary is doing his job. He picks up the gun. He's getting it ready because he's going to come back in, grab the gun, go off and shoot himself. And as he's off the first time, what happens?
My hands are sweaty. The gun.
I was trying to defend you.
The gun has a hair trigger. I shift my finger a little bit and the gun goes off.
The gun goes off. So he now has shot himself too early.
The lead has. From the perspective of the audience.
Yes. So in effect, you rewrote Chekhov, basically.
And the very next line that someone has that this guy had to say, I think Nick Pepper had to say this, was, I hope mother doesn't find him in the garden. Which makes it sound like we're talking about a body, but he's not dead yet in the play. He's not supposed to be.
He's not dead yet. And I'm sitting there with my 2 blocks of wood, and we just look at each other, just like, I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's no way to fix that.
It's the last 5 minutes.
It's the last 5 minutes of the play. And I mean, it's the whole thing of Chekhov's gun on stage. That's the whole point of like where that story comes from. But when it goes off too early, I don't remember what happened afterwards. I mean, we got in trouble. But
well, I every single actor was pissed off at me until they saw my face and they saw that I was just devastated.
Yeah.
The director Judy came back, the director, and she looked at me and then she was so pissed, but then she looked at me and she's like, she just gave me like a sick accident. This is an accident.
I mean, what a thing of grace, right? To be able to kind of go, oh, thank God. But and we didn't fail a class or anything. But
so when you're watching film and they say Chekhov's gun, which I hear all the time, you know, it's generally it's like if you're going to show a gun, you got to use it, but there's a caveat. Don't use it too soon.
I'm sorry that I brought that up. We were talking about mistakes on stage, and
my God,
it is one of my, I mean, most fond memories, just because of just the sheer craziness.
That was it was bananas.
But so anyway, so back to the whole story. You went down to LA, right?
Yeah.
And you after your actors repertory theater, and then what did you do? I mean, did you just jump in and immediately start auditioning? What does that look like?
I studied at the Groundlings Improv for about 3 years, and then in LA, and I did a few live shows. I did an improv show, I did a few live shows. I joined an improv group where we did sketch shows. We didn't actually do improvisation on stage. We made sketches that were based on improvisation, right. Which was a Groundlings model. Mm-hmm. And we were called Sketch Education. And then that group eventually faded, and I joined another group and we started making video sketches called Cheap Shots Comedy.
Right.
That was years ago.
Are those still available? Can you still find them?
You can still find them. You can still find Cheap Shots Comedy videos on YouTube, but they're old at this point. They're like circa 2005. Yeah.
They are still funny though. They're
still hilarious. And and then I studied at Playhouse West. One of my teachers was Jeff Goldblum, and I studied Meisner there for years. A lot of great training. These days, mostly, I'm doing a lot of shorts and a lot of voiceover.
Yeah. which is
So
fantastic. I mean, what better job than be able to show up kind of in your shorts and t-shirt and basically put
it's
the
great.
headphones on and just go for it. So
I got to work with Humpty Dumpty. I got to work with Pac-Man. So
are they just as nice? I hear they're nice.
Pac-Man was just had one thing on his mind. He just wanted to eat.
So easy.
Humpty Dumpty was a nervous fellow.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mentally,
Did,
I heard that they couldn't put him back together again too. So
did you ever see? Did you ever see the comic strip where Humpty Dumpty's in pieces on the floor and the king's drunk as hell? And he just looks at the pieces and he looks at the horses and he says, "Let the horses try." Yeah,
how?
so the pistachio spots are,
Yeah. How
are
did
online
how
as
did that come
well.
about?
A friend of mine knew I did voiceover. She was producing the spot. She had no say in who they chose, but she snuck me into the audition pool, and the president of the company ended up liking my voice and ended up
Awesome.
using me. So it was just a fluky kind of thing. And usually in this business, that's usually how it goes.
Sure.
Like I never heard anybody that gets a break of any kind that was like, well, I auditioned and I came
Yeah,
in
and
and
I
got,
planned it out. Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, you do that, but most of the time it's just this weird thing that happens. And this is one
Right.
of those weird things that happened.
And
Yeah.
even before you told me that you got that, I heard your voice. You have a very distinct voice, and which is helpful for voiceover, obviously. And I remember, and it was on the radio, and I remember hearing a pistachio ad when we were still listening to terrestrial radio, and I heard an ad for pistachios. I go, "That's Gary!" Like I knew your voice instantly
That's
because it
so
was a
funny.
national ad.
Yeah. Yeah, there was five of them. There was Humpty Dumpty, Pac-Man, there was Joey Chestnut, the competitive eater. There was a robotic dog, and there was one that was based on one of the space telescopes. Yeah.
I mean, can we hear the
They're
pistachio?
all, yeah. I mean, it was just a tagline, which is uh, wonderful pistachios. Get cracking.
I love it. There
That's it.
it is. It's right up there with Mark Hamill's Joker, in my opinion.
Get out of here. But thank you.
Okay, so obviously we went to school. Now, before that, let's kind of go back a little bit of time because you grew up in Idaho.
Idaho. Yeah.
When you were going to school and stuff like that up in Idaho, did you know that you kind of wanted to do and pursue kind of a career in acting and performing and stuff like that?
I mean, yes and no. It's funny. I had a really weird schooling. I went to private school the first, like grade 1 through 6, and grade 1 through 3, it was a Catholic private school dedicated to the creative arts
Oh, interesting.
called CREACT. And one of the things that they did is that everybody would perform in the play at the end of the year. And so I started performing then. And then I had my first lead role as Wilbur in Charlotte's Web when I
Oh,
was like
wow.
9 or something. But I didn't really make that decision until I was a little bit older, 18 or 19, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I was actually way more I was always an artsy kid, and I for a minute I almost went to art school. In fact, that's kind of the teacher I wanted to talk about today.
That's a perfect transition into it. So, Gary Gunter, I'm asking you, who was your favorite teacher?
So I had this art teacher named Brent Lohman in junior high. So I'm like 13, 14. And uh my mom would usually pick me up from school, but she couldn't pick me up until 4. So I needed a place to hang out between when school got out at 3 and when my mom picked me up at 4. So I would go to the art studio, and the art was my favorite classes. And I would just hang out and work on my whatever project I was working on. And I got to know the art teacher. And it was great. But the reason he was my favorite teacher was he called me out and made me better. And one of the things that happened, I'll never forget this. I was working on we were doing an exercise. We were trying to um, it was like color gradient, and you
Okay.
make a design and you repeat the design exactly, and then you do color gradient across this grid.
Okay.
And it was to teach you how to mix colors, right? And he graded you in like 6 different areas, you know, originality and technical. So I got like A's and B's across the board for this piece that I did, and then I got an F in craftsmanship. And I was so upset.
Sure.
This is like my best subject. I'm like, how could I get an F? So I went up to him and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like going, you got splotches all over this. There's like little like paint drips and
Oh,
certain things went out of the borders and like things weren't lined up quite right. Like the color gradient was fine,
right,
but it was like the crossing the T's and dotting the I's
right.
kind of stuff. And so he could tell I was upset. I was like, I was on the verge of tears. I was such a sensitive kid, and
And good
he's like,
student. You were a good student as
I was a
well.
good student, but I was also just a real sensitive kid. And he's like, all right, listen. He said, see this piece of paper? And he showed me a blank piece of paper. He's like, see this piece of paper? I said, yeah. He says, when you're drawing on this piece of paper, or whatever you're doing, he said, you are God. You were responsible for everything in this realm. Whatever's on that page did not exist before you put it there. So whatever is in there, you can't point to anybody else. It's somebody else's fault. It's not that, the gun had a trigger finger.
There's a callback for you.
You can't, it's like stand-up comedy. You're on your own. This is your work.
That's
So
interesting.
you don't turn anything in unless you're absolutely proud of it. This is what and if there's something you're not proud of, then fix it or start over and do it again.
Right.
It's like, but you don't turn in substandard work. And this is good art. Just like this one pass. And I always remember that because it's like that's so true with it doesn't have to be, you know, drawing or painting. It could be the shot in film. It could be what you're doing on stage. It could be what you're doing on the written page. You know, and I never forgot that. And then he asked us to take it very seriously, like the piece of art that you're creating becomes its own entity.
Interesting.
And he got real mad if we were having conversations with other people while we're making the art. He's like, no, no, no. You have a conversation with a piece of art.
Oh, wow.
That's what you're trying to do. Uh, and there's a third thing that he said that always stuck out to me. Because he said, I hate it when people say, you're so talented. He's like, talent has nothing to do with it. He's like, it's hard work, just like anything else.
Wow.
Like, just like lifting weights, just like being good at anything. It takes a lot of hours and a lot of work. So don't say you're very talented. Just say, oh, that's, great work.
Huh. Interesting. It's a series of
Yeah.
muscles that you have to work out just like anything else.
Yeah. He thought it took away from the work that artists do.
Interesting. That's really an interesting way to look at it. And I mean, you already answered the question, but usually I would say, how did that inform your current work that you're doing? But it sounds like it really is just not being satisfied until everything that you want to be on that piece of paper is exactly what you want.
That's a tricky that's a tricky line to walk though, because perfectionism can be a form of procrastination.
Ooh,
as well.
yeah. Okay.
So it has to be, it's not that it needs to be perfect. It's like, it's good and it represents good work.
Yeah.
I had I've done a bit of screenwriting, and one of the things, I've definitely overwritten things before.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Where you're like, I've spent, way too long on the description of a dart flying out of someone's hand. It's like, what are you doing? Calm down. I saw a great example of minimalist writing. Someone was writing about a dark, damp jail cell, and it's like no light. It's like, you could hear the dew dropping and the shadows cast across the cell, and it was like a paragraph long describing this thing. And then the really good writer just wrote, hopelessness, no light can escape.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Done.
I love that. I love that. One of my favorite examples that bounced into my head when you were saying that is Dennis Lehane, and I don't know which book it was in, but he talked about how like a memory was beginning to slip out of a character's mind, and he just said that it dripped out the drain pan of his head.
Oh,
I just went, oh, dang it! I'm never gonna write anything that cool. That was
that's
so good.
great.
No, and
I
it,
love that.
instead of talking about, oh, I forgot and it faded away, it's just like, no, it dripped out of the drain pan of his head.
Ah,
It was pretty
so
good.
well, that's it too. Like, good art when you see it, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember who said that. I think it was Ira Glass. He was saying it's like that's a tough thing when you're doing art of any kind because good art, you have good taste. When you're learning and trying to get better, there's this painful, painful, painful period you have to work through where you're trying as hard as you can and it's not matching what you know
Yeah.
is good art.
Yeah.
And you just gotta slog through it.
Slog through it.
That's tough.
How many projects have you and I both done where you're just like, this is not my best work, but I've got a deadline and I've got to get it and I've just got
Yeah.
to make it as good as I can do it. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you think back of like television writers and stuff like that, writing 23 episodes, or 24 episodes in a season, and week after week they're just having to slog through stuff. And we used to be so judgmental about the TV shows. I was like, we have no idea how fast they had to turn these things around, or even like SNL, just the crazy
Oh yeah.
work
Oh
schedule
my
that
God.
SNL has.
That's an insane clip that they got to work on.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, but that's just nuts.
And yet
Wait,
and then we just sit there and go, did you see SNL? Yeah, it sucked. Or
right.
whatever. Come on, man, give him a break.
Working so hard. Oh my God. Well, I mean, you notice too with new seasons now where it's like most of them don't go beyond 10 or 12.
No.
12 at most, maybe.
No.
And it's actually better.
Oh, much. I mean, if you look at some of the older sketches, you're just like, this thing has been going on forever.
Yeah,
Like this is a long, long sketch, but oh, well, thanks so much. Do you know if your teacher, I can't remember his last name again. What was his name?
Loman, Brent Loman.
So Mr. Loman, is he still with us?
I should look him up and send this to him if he's, or whenever you post this,
Absolutely, it's going to be tonight because I'm overdue for a post. So we're going to.
He will probably be. I would guess he's in his 80s now, so he might not be around anymore. But if he's around, I'll send it to him.
I hope he is, so that he can hear that he encouraged and that his work, because sometimes, and we say this every week, it's tough for those teachers. It's tough for them to really understand that their work is making a difference, and the care and the thing that they're doing and the guidance that they give us actually do make a difference and impact future work, because that lesson is one that either you had to probably learn at a later date and through a harder lesson, but because you learned it back then, you're able to employ it today.
Well, if I could put in one more plug,
do it.
Just shot another short film. It's this title's in Spanish. Paredes entre tú y yo, which means the walls between you and me.
Oh, wow.
It's an immigration story. It's about a Mexican-American daughter trying to repair her relationship with her Mexican father, who's trying to become a citizen.
Wow.
And I'm the bad guy. I'm the immigration officer. But it's a powerful piece, and it's coming out in the next few months or so.
In the next few months, do you know where it will kind of?
It'll be released online.
It will be online.
Yeah. The writer, producer, star, her name is Catalina Garrioga.
Okay.
And she'll be releasing that very soon.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're exactly right, because this is the portion of the show that we do like to plug stuff. Is there anything else that you have coming up or that you're working on that you want to share?
I wish I could. I'm ghostwriting 2 books, and the nature of the gig is you can't reveal who you're writing for.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah.
But I wish if I could plug them, I would, but I can't.
Absolutely. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that as well. And then anything else that you have coming up and everything. Are you a social media kind of person? Do you like people?
I am. Yeah, you can follow me at Laughing Gary on Instagram.
And he is funny. I don't know, for those of you that haven't followed him, make sure you give him a follow. I mean, this is going back to inside joke stuff, but I in my life, I have never laughed as deep and as hard as you and I when we were together at college. I remember some just not being able to breathe for minutes at a time. So
I felt the same. A lot of stories we can't tell here, but yeah.
Exactly. Well, Gary, thank you so much for being my guest, man. I really appreciate it. We've even through all the technical issues. Thanks for your patience.
No problem. Congratulations on your show, and
Thank you.
it's always great to talk to you, man.
Always great to talk to you. For everybody else that's out there listening, thank you so much for listening to us. Thanks for putting up with us in terms of the technical stuff as well. If you are watching on YouTube, do all the subscribe stuff. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure you drop a review. It does help us get out there. And we do want to communicate to all those teachers out there that you are doing a great work. Don't stop. Keep going. Thanks again to my guest, Gary Gunter. Love you, man. And have a good one out there. Be nice to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.